Thank you very much, Dr. Thompson. My name is Dr. Aliya Khan, and I'm a clinical professor of medicine at McMaster University, and I'm also a board member of UOSSM. And on October the 15th, 800 internationally recognized experts in international humanitarian law warned of an imminent genocide in Gaza. And this warning was ignored by the US and Canada. On October the 7th, we witnessed 1,200 attacks on the people of Israel. And this was followed by an intense carpet bombing campaign on the people of Gaza, with more than 40,000 tons of bombs dropped on Gaza, which is equivalent to 2 nuclear bombs since October the 7th. We have seen, as Dr. Thompson described, more than 17,000 people killed in Gaza. 70% of these people are women and children. More than 1,000 babies have been killed, and more than 7,000 children have been killed, and they have died horrific deaths with burns and dismemberment. Tens of thousands of people have been injured. 1.8 million people have been displaced from their homes with no food, no water, no medical supplies, and they have been seriously, severely injured. As you saw in the video, ladies and gentlemen, there were open fractures in these children, burns, and severe injuries which will require multiple surgical procedures, and they have no medical care. The children have been severely injured in the bomb blasts, and they have lost their limbs, and they have been buried under rubble. In the West Bank, not Gaza, but in the West Bank, 250 people have been killed in the West Bank since October the 7th. And I'd like to remind everyone that there is no Hamas in the West Bank. And 1,000 Palestinians in the West Bank have been driven off their land. These are gross violations of international humanitarian law, and we are seeing barbaric massacres of an entire civilian population with modern military technology. This is barbaric, this is savage, with complete destruction and collapse of the healthcare infrastructure in Gaza. The destruction is enormous, beyond any degree of proportionality. And we have seen the targeted killing of more than 280 physicians and kidnappings of physicians and healthcare workers. These are all war crimes. I'd like to remind everyone that civilians, healthcare workers, humanitarian workers are all protected by the 4th Geneva Conventions. And these conventions demand fair treatment of injured and imprisoned combatants and non-combatants in a conflict. The world has clearly failed the people of Gaza. And Canada used to be a leader as an international peacekeeper and a human rights advocate since World War II. But now we have failed our duty. And Canada is completely at odds with the positions of internationally recognized human rights organizations like MSF, Amnesty International, Beta Salim, and medical relief organizations. In fact, Canada is openly supporting Israel in violating international humanitarian law and the committing of war crimes in Gaza. Raz Siegel, a scholar of genocide and a Holocaust scholar, said that what Israel is doing is a textbook case of genocide. We physicians have a moral responsibility to speak out in the presence of war crimes and horrific massacres of civilians, especially children, babies in incubators, bombing of hospitals, and targeting of physicians and healthcare workers. We are representing more than 3,000 Canadian physicians who share our concerns. We have met with the Prime Minister's office on November the 30th and reviewed our demands, and we are now sharing these demands with the media. We do not want our country, Canada, to be complicit in these war crimes, and we are demanding the following 3 actions. Number 1, permanent, immediate ceasefire. Number 2, urgent, adequate, and uninterrupted delivery of humanitarian aid, including food, water, fuel, medical supplies, and equipment. Number 3, Canada must support rules-based international humanitarian law and justice mechanisms. And we demand an independent investigation by the UN into the killing and the kidnapping of civilians and healthcare workers and the bombing of hospitals, schools, universities, and places of worship. The world needs ethical, moral, and principled leadership, and we ask Canada to provide this. I would now like to ask Salim, who is a cousin of Dr. Saleh, an emergency physician resident in training who has been abducted in Gaza, to speak. Thank you.